Hey, thanks for coming. This is an important video, not for me, but for you. The title of this video is The Ultimate Superpower, Knowing Your Past and Your Future. You notice I said your. I'm going to tell you a story about Nostradamus and somebody named Joseph Smith, the founder of the Mormon religion. So some of you may know, but I have videos who those people, the reincarnations, who those people are. One, Nostradamus has reincarnated. This is to fulfill his own prophecy, where he said, I will be more famous 500 years from now than I am today. He was very famous even then. But he's come to fulfill his own prophecy about himself. I'm going to refer you to somebody. Okay. Carl Sagan, a scientist, said, when you make extraordinary claims, you have to have extraordinary proof. Okay? That's a reasonable statement. So if you're going to make an extraordinary claim, you should refer to an authority. Here is one such authority. The book Conversations with Nostradamus by Dolores Cannon. And so then I will pass some links out in the description where you can go check for yourself. Dolores Cannon was a person who did hypnotherapy. And she got into the business of doing past life regressions accidentally. You can go look up her whole story. And there's many videos that you can get some information. And for the people that I'm talking to, she is making reference to you and your time. A lot of people said, oh, well, yeah, I believe in reincarnation. But they don't know who they are in a past life. More importantly, they don't even know who they're going to be. So let me talk a little bit about the ultimate power, the ability to know your past and your future. Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, in the third chapter, talks about how to get into the state of samadhi and how to apply that ability to acquire superpowers. Cities, more correctly translated, is accomplishment, something you've been able to do. In the third chapter, the 40th Sutra, Patanjali talks about how you can walk on water. You may have heard of somebody that did that. But if we are an eternal being and some lifetime in the future, we are going to have a city which is easier to go off in the forest somewhere and practice for several lifetimes on how to levitate, or sift through your future memories. There's a practice that does just that. It's called quantum leaping. I remember looking, and it's on the web, on YouTube. Remember somebody talking about how they wanted to know how to fix a faucet. So what they did is they went into their trance. They imagined that they were their life in the future, where they were a plumber. And so they asked themselves, how would you fix this faucet? And the guy responded and said, oh yeah, you do this, this, and this. He came back, he got up, he went to the faucet, he did exactly what he did. He told them, he fixed it. Well, if you can do it for a faucet, surely you can go to the life in the future where you learn to walk on water. You still have to go through the process to acquire the perception that tells you, the emotional perception that tells you can do that. But you certainly can accelerate it, can't you? Anyway, we're at the time and period where Nostradamus saw that he would be reincarnating. He has reincarnated. He knows who he is. He is recovering his ability he had in the past, and he's going to have in the future again. In this book, okay, on page 291 in this copy, okay, Dolores is talking about the interaction, the explanation. He will come to expose the false topography. The urns of tombs will be open. Sect and holy philosophy to thrive. Black and for white and the new for the old. So here's what Nostradamus says about this. And this is through Brenda, the person that was regressed to that time. And so Brenda says, Nostradamus, says this is another quatrain that has more than one interpretation since it refers to more than one event. One interpretation refers to the man who will rise as the antidote to the Antichrist. That's this time. George Bush, if you want to know. This genius that has been mentioned before. The phrase, he will expose the false topography, means that he will show the way things are looked upon, they have a false appearance. That the philosophies and science have been built upon mistaken premises, thereby building a mistaken picture of the universe. When he discovers what he develops will help people come closer to the true appearance of the universe, of how it really is, in relation to the life force that permeates everything. He says that a lot of this knowledge will affect the philosophies and religion, but it will also help explain the discoveries of old documents that have been shunted aside due to people's way of looking at things. He says that various documents, such as those found in some of the tombs of Egypt and at Qumran, and various other documents will be found are examples of this. They will be linked together. Oh, by the way, the writings on the tombs of the kings of Egypt hides the location of the Ark of the Covenant. They will be linked together in a cohesive manner to explain earlier versions of major religions that will seem totally topsy-turvy to the way they've been interpreted through the years, thereby appearing to be black for white. He says the new interpretation of these, based on a new understanding of old writings had been obscure before, will make so much more sense to people it will replace the old way, the narrow-minded way of looking at things. He says that this will cause a sweeping change in the world, particularly in the matters of religion and philosophy, simply because this discovery that is initially pictured as being a discovery of science will be more metaphysical than is first realized. And it will make clear the connections between the physical universe and the metaphysical universe as dealt with by religions. He says a minor event this quatrain refers to as well is an event that has taken place already. So in this he's referring to the present. In the early 19th century, there was a man who came into possession of some Egyptian documents of ancient times that were discovered in some tombs. And this man had a trace of psychic ability. Through this psychic ability, he gave an interpretation of these documents that was partially correct and partially incorrect. But he used this interpretation of these documents in the founding of a new Christian sect. Some of the beliefs of this sect disagreed with the prevailing beliefs at the time and made the followers of the sect very suspect. For they seemed to be looking at some things backwards from what the theologians at the time assumed they should be, based upon the Bible, since these followers were going by the information obtained from these Egyptian documents. So Nostradamus mentioned this as a minor event that this quatrain also described. History moves in spirals. And along with this, Mark Twain said, history doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes. So Dolores, after she wrote that, she said, weeks later it occurred to me who he might have been speaking of. I believe he is seeing Joseph Smith and the beginning of the Mormon Church in the 1800s. This sect is supposedly based upon the discovery of ancient writings. Matt Lytle, who is the reincarnation of Joseph Smith, is doing a video to explain just this. Okay. So, Nostradamus foresaw Joseph Smith. Nostradamus foresaw that he was coming back. That's Emanuele Ntolo. What's interesting about this interaction between Emanuele and Joseph is neither of them have paid very much attention to each other. Okay, they were together in England, and they didn't recognize the importance that each had for each other. So now Emanuele has recognized the importance of Matt as the reincarnation of Joseph Smith. And Matt has finally recognized the importance of Emanuele as the reincarnation of Nostradamus and how they will help each other. So they're coming both to California to be here on June 21st, the solstice, when there is a full moon. For them, this is all about the unifying effects of their relationships to each other. But I said this video is about you. There are people who are looking for their mission in life. These are people that were yogis in the past and have been born either to very spiritual families or very wealthy families. This video is for you. This is your opportunity to come and see the completion of the discovery of your past life and your future lives to come. You may not get that city in a space of 4 or 5 days, but you certainly will see people that do it. And this you'll take away to make your own life more powerful. Patanjali's promises. The cities can give you power in society, but he also warns there's some traps to avoid, to go beyond the cities, to go to the state of realization. I will put some links to both Matt and Emanuele's videos, so you can check it out for yourself. The thing about truth is that no matter how much you test it and prod it and poke it, it always comes back to the same answer. That's what science says. There may actually be other people coming. The reincarnation of John the Baptist, the reincarnation of Paul from the Bible, other apostles. So this is my invitation to you to decide to come. There is going to have to be some vetting of the people that apply. But it's a great privilege. And this is the invitation to that privilege. Thank you.